Hello and welcome to another video from Other Such Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that's now quite old, is very, very collectible, and is becoming increasingly more difficult to find, especially in this mint unopened condition. Now, we are looking at the 2002 release by Corgi from their TV tie-in series of Corgi classic diecast models. And this particular one we are looking at today is from the TV series Heartbeat, and it features the Morris Minor Traveller, as it appeared in the very, very popular television series. Now, Heartbeat was a British police period drama series. Now, it was based upon the Constable series of novels written by Nicholas Rea and produced by Yorkshire Television until it was merged with ITV, then by ITV Studios. The series ran from 1992 until 2010, and the series is set in the North Riding of Yorkshire during the 1960s, with plots centred on the fictional locations, I should say, of Aidensfield and Ashfordley. Now, very, very popular series. It ran for 18 seasons. There was a total of 372 episodes. A lot of quite famous actors appeared. Nick Berry started off. He played one of the main characters, I think, for about 9 years, I think it was, before he left. And some of the characters actually continued from 1992 right way through until the series finished in 2010. And also the opening theme tune was performed by Nick Berry. So very, very popular series. Original episode aired on the 10th of April 1992. Final episode on the 12th of September 2010. It did actually incorporate some spin-offs. So there was a spin-off called The Royale and The Royal Today. So initially the programme starred Nick Berry, Niamh Cusack, Derek Folds, William Simmons, Mark Jordan and Bill Maynard. But as more main characters were added to the series, additional actors included Jason Durr, Jonathan Kerrigan, Philip Franks, Duncan Bell, Claire Wiley, Lisa Kay, Tricia Penrose, Jeffrey Hughes, Peter Benson and Gwen Taylor. Now, Derek Folds played Oscar Blaketon, and William Simmons played Alf Ventress, and those were the two actors that were in the series for the entire run of its 18 series. Now, Heartbeat proved very popular from the beginning. Early series consistently drew in over 10 million viewers, and they achieved a peak audience of 13.82 million in 2001 and 12.8 million viewers in 2003. And like I say, its success eventually led to spin-off series The Royal, and then of course that extra episode The Royal Today. So anyway, let's not digress any further. This particular item we're looking at today is of the Morris Minor Traveller, and as it appeared in that television series. And this is the box in front of us, and it's got Heartbeat at the very top, and it's a 1/43 scale die-cast model replicas. You've got the Corgi logo in the bottom left-hand corner, and it says, as featured in the popular television series Heartbeat. And on the right-hand corner of the box, you can see an image there of the late, great Bill Maynard, who played Claude Jeremiah Greengrass from 1992 to 2000. So he played it for 8 years. And then he actually reprised the character in the spin-off The Royal in 2003. Anyway, that's the front of the box. Let's turn the box around to the back now and see what we got printed on the reverse. Okay, so I've turned the box around to the back, and there you can see there's some photograph images from the characters from the TV series on the left hand side. It says Heartbeat, set in the 1960s and packed with nostalgia moments of rich combination of 60s music, beautiful surroundings and classic vehicles. Heartbeat brings to life the daily events of the small Yorkshire village of Aidensfield and its inhabitants. The ever-popular TV series tells numerous stories from sheep chasing chaos at the local fete, arson attacks, UFO sightings, and not least the efforts of Sergeant Oscar Blaketon and Ashfordley Police Station to try and keep the infamous Claude Jeremiah Greengrass on the straight and narrow from his never-ending scamming. First aired in 1992, Heartbeat is one of the most popular British television drama series, with millions of viewers regularly tuning in to keep up with events in Aidensfield. If you remember, this was produced in 2002, so Heartbeat was still running at that time. It didn't finish until 2010. And there's on the bottom right hand corner again, you've got the Corgi logos there. Okay, let's just turn the box to the side. And on the side, it's got Heartbeat, item number CC01701, Morris Minor Traveller and figure. And you've got the Corgi logo again. And at the other end, well, that's exactly the same again. Heartbeat, CC01701, Morris Minor Traveller and figure, and the Corgi logo. And on the bottom of the box, it says not suitable for children under 14 years. Some models may contain fine detailed points or edges. Made in China, barcode and the licensing information, 2002 Corgi Classics Limited, Corgi Classics logo, and it's licensed by Granada Media Commercial Ventures, Yorkshire Television Limited, 2002. Okay, that's the box. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to have to open the box and take the model out, and let's have a look at it outside of the box. Okay, so I've removed the model from the box, and this is what we got. So we've got him still sitting on the plinth here, together with the figure. Now, I can't remove him from the plinth because he is still taped in with the strap in there. And if I removed it, I don't think I'd be able to get him back on again. In actual fact, well, let's see if we can actually get the model off. Okay, so I have managed to remove the model from the box. I haven't taken the straps off here though, because they are wrapped around the wheels there, and if I take them off, there's no way I'm going to be able to get those back round there again. So I'm not going to remove the straps. I'm just going to tuck them up underneath for the time being while we're looking at the model itself. But there we have that lovely Morris Minor Traveller, 143 scale model. The registration number is 681OBX or DBX. I'm not sure if it looks like DBX, actually, in fact. And there you can see it's got that, what colour is that? Turquoise, maybe? Or some kind of greenish kind of colour. I'm not exactly sure what colour that is. Grey green, maybe? I don't know. But it's an all die-cast model, and you've got the wood panelling on the backs and the sides there, as the Morris Minors all had. And you can see there that you got perspex glass there as well, as on the back. I think that's plastic, actually. The panelling. I don't think it's certainly not wood, and I don't think it's metal. I think that is plastic. But the rest of the body is metal. And you can see you've got the wing mirrors at the front of the bonnet there, which is how they used to be on the early models. And I believe they are plastic, as are the bumpers and the grille and so on. They are plastic. Underneath, well, again, I think that's all die-cast metal. The wheels obviously have rubber tyres on them and metal rims. But otherwise, it's obviously plastic screens as well, but majority of it is die-cast metal. But the only features really are the free rolling wheels. There's no opening doors or opening boots or anything like that, opening bonnet. So it literally is just the wheels that free roll. That's the only functionality of the model. And of course, then if we bring that in, we've then got the figure there. I'm not exactly sure who that figure is supposed to be of, but obviously it's supposed to be of one of the characters from the series. And you can see he's got the Corgi logo at the bottom of the figure there. I'm just going to get some measurements of the figure. So the figure's about 4.5 centimeters in tall. And if I measure across that base, we're about 2.5 centimeters across the bottom of the base there. And if we measure the other way, the width of the base of the figure, we're about 1.5 centimeters. Hoping you just about see that. But as I say, I'm not quite sure who that figure is supposed to be, but obviously a character from the TV series. So the size of the Morris Minor Traveller, well, that is well, 8.5 centimeters. Height wise, we're looking at 3.5 centimeters, and width wise, if we measure across the widest point, we're also at 3.5 centimeters. So that gives you an idea of the size of the model, but it really is a very nice looking model. I'm going to pop those back in the holes there, so the model does actually sit a little bit better, rather than keep it sitting on the ground with the straps holding the model off the ground. So I'm just going to pop that back on like that, and there you can see it sits quite nicely in the grooves there. So a really, really nice model, as with all of the Corgi models. Really, really does look nice and look really, really good on display. Okay, now you're going to say to me, how well did these models do back in 2002? Well, 2002, like I said, Heartbeat was still a very, very popular television series. But by 2002, it'd been running for 10 years. It did run for another 8 years after this was produced. So very popular TV series. I don't know the numbers of or how many of these models were produced. I know there was a few different ones. There were some trucks and other cars that were produced by Corgi from the same series for Heartbeat. But I say I'm not quite sure of the numbers. But as with all of these are adult models, so they're not produced in the huge quantities that the kids models are produced. But like I say, produced in a decent sort of quantity. I imagine they sold relatively well. I can remember going into the shops and seeing these on the shop floor in the early 2000s, because it wasn't long after we sold our shop. I do remember popping into the diecast model shops and having a look at the cars, and I can very, very clearly remember these being on the shelves. Okay, so let's move forward to 2025. So we're moving forward 23 years since these were released. Do they come up for sale very often on the platforms nowadays? Well, not really. If you look hard enough and you wait long enough, you will probably find them popping up from time to time. More so loose than mint in the boxes like this particular one is. But yes, they do come up from time to time. But funny enough, not as often as you would have expected, considering the popularity of this show and the numbers you would have thought that these would have been produced with. So, yeah, they do come up, but not as often as you would have liked. You can find them loose on the platforms as well. I did have a look on the platforms. I did see quite a few of these. I presume they were from the same series. They did look very much like they were, but they were separately. I didn't find any loose figures. The figure only appears with this set, so I didn't see any of the figures being sold separately. So the only figures that I saw were in the sets like this particular one is. And do remember, if you are going to buy on a platform, be careful of the condition. Somebody's idea of very good condition could be somebody else's idea of acceptable condition. There is a big scope of differences there between people's opinions. So do bear that in mind when you are about to order on a platform. And don't forget, some of the platforms use stock images and stock descriptions. So you could be looking at an item like this, mint condition, never removed from the box. However, if there's no new ones available, they automatically go to the cheapest used item, and that may not be what you are looking for. So if it doesn't say new on the platform and it does say used, click that used link and read what you're about to order, so you're not disappointed when the item arrives, because it wouldn't be through the fault of the seller, and it certainly wouldn't be through the fault of the buyer. It's just the way the platforms work. Now, alternatively, you don't need to go through any of that rigmarole. You come straight to us at Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles, where what you see in front of you is exactly the item you will receive should you wish to order. And this particular item is no different to that. Now, we were quite fortunate enough when we bought out a closed down shop just after COVID. There was a huge amount of die-cast models that were still on their shelves. And fortunately enough, there was quite a few of the heartbeat ones, and those models we are now making available to our customers on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Corgi items. And many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you're looking for, something old you'd never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories. So stay tuned. Keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful Morris Minor Traveller from Heartbeat with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.